Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. Thanks for clicking on this video. We're going to talk about vegetables today. I had a friend on Instagram request to talk about vegetables a little bit more, and a lot of folks on the Instagram community are interested or have been connected with the ketogenic diet, which has a very high focus on carbs, but there were a couple vegetables that I've always typically stuck to along my journey. With being high protein, low carb along my journey, it's kind of the big focus that you stay away from certain vegetables. And there's actually a ketogenic website that I've utilized pretty heavily that has given me kind of an understanding of what's got a higher carb intake or what's got a higher carb amount as far as vegetables are concerned, and what to avoid, especially if you're in a low carb, high protein diet. But just in general, some of the nutritional facts and nutritional information that vegetables can provide. I think, one thing right away, integrating vegetables, I think, is going to be important in the ketogenic diet. If you are on that, whether you're on the Whole30, whatever diet that you're on, a healthy integration of fruits and vegetables, I think, is going to be important. It brings about a proper balance. I've had a couple of clients that have strictly gone 100% all meat and cheese as far as the ketogenic diet, and have seen kind of the repercussions of eliminating something so much that when it came time to step off, say, the meat and cheese ketogenic diet, they weren't able to balance the other things as far as fruits and vegetables into their daily routine. So I want to provide some information as much as possible in choosing the right fruits and vegetables as far as the ketogenic diet is concerned, but just in general, some of the nutritional value that comes from fruits and vegetables. And me, myself, I integrated a lot of these, even the higher carbohydrate vegetables. I did integrate those myself during my process of losing weight. My diet looked a lot like the ketogenic diet. To be honest, I was probably in ketosis a lot because I mimicked the diet, but I didn't do any kind of measuring, so I am not keto, and I haven't been keto. That hasn't stopped, and I think this is the ongoing theme. It hasn't stopped ketogenic pages from sharing my photo and utilizing my information to sell their product, and I've never stood behind that. I've never supported that, nor have given them the authorization to utilize my photo to sell their product. So if you ever go to a website, Instagram, anything like that, and see my photo, but then see it asking you to click on a link, never click on the link. It is not something I'm behind or support whatsoever. So let's get right into the vegetables. What I'm going to do is share my screen, and in me sharing my screen, it's going to pull up not only a ketogenic website that I utilize a lot, but we'll also go to Healthline. Healthline is a website that I've utilized quite a bit as far as information. It's pretty much a team of doctors, nutritionists, dietitians, all together in one place that they publish a lot of their information through Healthline. And so I utilize that website a lot for information and to find supporting information, especially when it comes to my diet, my nutrition, and different things that I'm doing along the way. So I'll quickly share my screen, and we'll first get into some of the value that comes from, say, vegetables that you were to choose. So you can see here, this is kind of a running list of vegetables that are vegetables, fruits are involved in this as well, but you can see kind of the lower or less carb intake on the vegetable side is your spinach, your baby bella mushrooms, your green bell peppers, and then your higher intake of, or your higher amount of carbs, you're looking at a yellow onion, blackberries when it comes to fruits, raspberries, broccoli. And so you can kind of see a good range here as far as the amount of carbs, say, in a particular vegetable versus, say, something like a spinach, a green pepper, or say, romaine lettuce. And this is where I talk about finding a balance and really knowing where you are. Since I never did the ketogenic diet, I can't speak directly to it as far as my experience, but what can I speak to is the longevity of my journey as far as finding a balance to integrate all kinds of different fruits and vegetables, as well as sticking to a high protein diet that has allowed me to be successful now 4.5 years later. The success, I think, really comes down to finding an appropriate balance to the journey and finding an appropriate way to integrate things that you enjoy in the appropriate plan. I heard someone say on TikTok recently that it's not a cheat if it's a part, or if I have a good plan. Meaning, me, myself, I love mangoes. I've integrated mangoes as much as I possibly could. Now, mangoes are higher in carbs and higher in sugar, and that's not something that's directly connected with my high protein, low carb diet, but I've integrated them in a way that has allowed me to stay successful now 4.5 years later. But I've been able to build muscle mass, I've been able to build lean muscle mass and stay consistent on my diet because I've included something that wasn't typically a part of my, say, diet. But if you're looking at vegetables, if you're looking at spinach, which is high in vitamin A, if you're looking at baby Bella, Nickelodeon, okay, I'm probably too old. green bell peppers, green beans, and romaine lettuce. So immediately, if I were just looking at this list here, spinach, something that you can put in your smoothies. Spinach, something you can put with your eggs. So spinach is something you can cook in the morning when you're having a sausage, egg, and maybe a little bit of spinach. You're integrating that as a part of what you're having in the morning. It's a lower carb, but you're balancing it and you're integrating it into your diet, especially if you're on the ketogenic diet or if you're looking at a lower carb diet. You're integrating spinach, you're getting good vitamin A, and it's not something exceeding your ketogenic limits. Looking at mushrooms, I love personally, I love mushrooms. If you're looking at green bell peppers, sister-in-law had an idea the other day about a recipe idea, and it was pretty much cooking up some ground beef, putting it together with some cheese and some taco seasoning, putting that in a hollowed out half bell pepper, and getting that crunch from the bell pepper, but having the ground beef and the cheese and some seasoning in there. I mean, what a great idea to not only integrate something that is a vegetable, but also get your higher protein, lower carb kind of satisfaction. That was rough. You can get satisfied with the crunch of the bell pepper, but also keep it within the range of your, say, particular plan. If we're looking at romaine lettuce, I don't know how many times along my journey I have gotten the romaine lettuce and used that as a replacement to a taco shell. And I can integrate stuff like, I don't know how many times I have gotten a slice of turkey. I have gotten a little bit of mayonnaise and I've put in some bacon with a little bit of seasoning on top. I've closed that into a romaine lettuce and I've had some tacos. Great ideas. And I think this is a good utilization. This is a good chart to kind of see where vegetables range, where fruits range, and how you can properly integrate them. You know what, if you want to have, say, raspberries, if you want to have blackberries or yellow onion, those are higher in carbs, but can you find a way to integrate those into a meal that you can enjoy that is relatively lower carb throughout the day, especially if you're on the ketogenic diet or on a, say, low carb, high protein diet? Can you integrate onions, if you enjoy them, or blackberries or raspberries into your diet so you can integrate a vegetable or a fruit, but also make sure that you're within range? So it's starting to think about ideas on how to have onions, but keep the rest of the day on a lower carb range. If you can have blackberries or raspberries, integrating that stuff, but in a balanced way. Again, I've seen so many come across a diet that is successful for them because it's so restrictive, but when there comes a pivot point where they need to step off such high restriction and actually go to something sustainable, it becomes very difficult and it becomes all in or all out. I'm either all doing this or I've got to step completely out. And to last the longevity of this journey of being healthy and properly integrating things that are going to allow you to be successful, you've got to find a balance. That's really important. There's other information that they put here as far as the content quality of calories, fats, net carbs, protein. One of the first things I'm looking at is baby bella mushrooms. 6 grams of protein, 4 net carbs, and 40 calories. You've got a substantial amount of protein in mushrooms. Why not put together some mushrooms with your steak? Why not put together mushrooms with, say, some ground beef and add a little bit of protein in there? Yeah, you've got 4 net carbs, but why not add a little bit of flavor so it brings balance to your meal? That's really important. If you're looking at broccoli, now broccoli has some protein in it. You can see 5 grams of protein, but it's got 7 net carbs. So how do you balance that? Are you just going to take off the tops and eat the tops because that's more filling? Or are you getting rid of the stems because that's kind of just a wasted taste? That's where you're kind of planning that out. Now, when you're looking at the value of food, yellow onion. Do you really enjoy yellow onion and want to integrate that? I love onions. Sauteed onions. It's good stuff. Now, if I'm looking at 12 net carbs, how many carbs am I trying to stay within a day? If I need to stay within 20 carbs, and I think for the most part, a lot of the ketogenic plans have you stay underneath 20 grams of net carbs. If you're having 12 with yellow onions, it's thinking about the rest of the day before the onions and after the onions on what you can have to stay within your 20, but also enjoy a yellow onion, which is really important. You're looking at blackberries, raspberries. Those are both 8 net carbs and 2 grams of protein. Well, how can you integrate those berries into a morning keto crunch cereal? I've gotten a keto crunch cereal recently from Evolve, Eat to Evolve. Really good, kind of a breakfast keto crunch. Well, can I put some raspberry or blackberries on there and stay within the range of, my goal if I'm on the ketogenic diet, or if I'm on a low carb diet, can I stay within that range? This speaks to the ketogenic diet as far as staying under 20 net carbs. But if you're on a low carb plan like I was, the low carb plan is going to give you a little bit more flexibility, but also you're able to integrate some of these items a little bit more versus being so strict on the ketogenic diet. So that's where I always talk about finding a balance, is finding a way to understand what is in your food, what is in the vegetables or fruits that you're having, and how can you integrate those things into a properly balanced diet. I understand getting on keto, Whole30, paleo, whatever diet that you want to get on to lose a bulk of the weight, but there has to be a pivot point where you move from the diet that you've gone on to lose a bulk of the weight to actually finding something sustainable and more lifestyle welcoming. You've got to do this for the rest of your life. It's not just going to be something immediate or quick. So just an encouragement as far as finding a balance. If you want to start keto, great. But remember, at some point, if keto doesn't work long term for you, you're going to have to find that pivot point of what is going to be sustainable for you long term. There is that Healthline website that I mentioned, and I'll quickly go over some of the benefits that I saw. As far as this one's got a list here of the top 14 best vegetables and kind of what the benefits are. Wanted to quickly highlight a couple of them. I think the first one here is the spinach, and sorry for the pizza. I should almost move. Let me do this real quick. You ready? This is happening in real time. Okay, in real time. Okay, I'm just here to support. Okay, I am just. Okay, that's a little bit better. So spinach, if you're looking at spinach, 1 cup of raw spinach provides 56% of your daily vitamin A needs, plus your entire daily vitamin K requirement, just in spinach. So if you're integrating spinach in the morning with your eggs and sausage, that's a great addition that allows you to have a balance of vegetables, but also getting some proper nutrition with it. Carrots, I'm going to kind of skip over carrots. I'm not hating on carrots. I'm not going to make a t-shirt. I hate carrots. But I just want to kind of go over some other ones that maybe aren't highlighted as much. I feel like carrots are always at the snack table. But something like garlic. Here's a great idea with garlic. Garlic has a long history and use for a medicinal plant. Several studies have shown that garlic can regulate blood sugar as well as promote heart health. In one animal study, diabetic rats were given either garlic oil or dilyl trisulfide. Ooh, that was rough. Again, a component of garlic. Both garlic compounds caused a decrease in blood sugar and improved insulin sensitivity. And again, if you're on the ketogenic diet, or if you're just looking at obesity in general, if you are insulin resistant, that's one of the big causes of obesity and extra weight in the gut is insulin resistance. So if it's going to improve insulin sensitivity, that's going to be a really good thing. Another one that I wanted to highlight is Brussels sprouts. One of my personal favorites, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts also contain camiferol, again, rough, an antioxidant that may be particularly effective in preventing damage to cells. Brussels sprouts consumption can help enhance detoxification as well. One study showed that eating Brussels sprouts led to 15 to 30% increase in some of the specific enzymes that control detoxification, which could decrease the risk of colorectal cancer. Additionally, Brussels sprouts are very nutrition dense. Each serving provides a good amount of many vitamins and minerals, including vitamin K, A, C, folate, manganese, and potassium. So, highlighting Brussels, I love, especially if you're on the keto or the low carb range. If you're looking at like baking some Brussels sprouts, putting some oil on there because you need to get your fat if you're on the ketogenic diet, adding some bacon on there. I mean, putting that in the oven and letting it crisp to the brown edges. What a great side to a protein dish, a chicken, a steak, whatever you're thinking about having as far as a main protein source. Brussels sprouts. My mother-in-law cooks fun. I think my wife and my sister-in-law cook these Brussels sprouts all the same way, and it's phenomenal. Tastes so good. I don't think actually this site here, Brussels sprouts, I don't think they were listed here as far as the breakdown is concerned. That's something that you probably have to look into as far as the breakdown for carbohydrates, net carbs versus protein, calories, and fats and stuff like that with Brussels sprouts. But definitely something that I integrated along my journey, and I've seen success, especially with the customization with the Brussels sprout dish. That's been really, really helpful for me. So just to kind of wrap up this video, thank you for sticking with me and hanging out as we review kind of these potential options. Biggest thing to kind of recap is finding a balance, finding sustainability, finding something that you can integrate in a healthy way so that you can do something long term. If you're on a hardcore ketogenic diet, do your thing, but remember at some point, if you can't do that for a long period of time, there's going to be a pivot point where you're going to have to integrate stuff that you didn't plan on or aren't typically having, and you've got to do that in a healthy way. You've got to do that in a balanced way. Whatever plan that you're going to do, integrate vegetables, integrate fruits in a way that allows you to bring balance and have balance into your diet so you can last long term. Lasting on your journey for the rest of your life is the goal. Sustainability is the goal. It's not about losing 50 pounds in 2 months and then hoping it doesn't come back. No, it's finding a plan that works for you and keeping on that plan for the rest of your life. Hoping this video encourages you. If you could like and subscribe. Also, I just recently started a podcast. It is actually through Anchor. So anchor.fm/DustyLoss300 LBS. If you would like to support the podcast or check out the podcast, I will put the links down below in the comments. Thank you again for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.